Breaking news update. Good afternoon to you, everyone. I'm Michael Wooten. We are about to hear from leaders in the city of Buffalo as we're entering day 2 of this major winter storm. Let's listen in here. Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown speaking.
Fire Commissioner William Ronaldo, Parking Commissioner Ray Wagner, and Captain in the Buffalo Police Department, Captain Rogowski. Conditions in most of the city of Buffalo are pretty clear. North, east, west is looking pretty good in the city of Buffalo. We have been incredibly hard hit in South Buffalo, where snow continues to come down. That required us to reimpose a driving ban in South Buffalo, the southern portion of the city. We want no driving whatsoever in that area of the city so the plows can do their work. We have now upwards of 55 plows in South Buffalo that are working to clear residential streets as well as mains and secondaries. At one point today, we had over 100 plow trucks on the street in the city of Buffalo. I want to just recognize the work of Public Works Commissioner Nate Martin, Deputy Commissioner Henry Jackson. They have been working around the clock without sleep since 4 o'clock Thursday a.m. There are many others in the management of this snow removal effort that have also been working around the clock without sleep. The city snow plan is working very well. The cooperation with the city and the state and the county has been seamless. It's been excellent. I want to thank Governor Kathy Hochul for her support and County Executive Mark Polenkars for his support and their partnership. We have been in constant communication since before the snow started falling in Buffalo, Erie County, and Western New York. To give you a fuller update on conditions in South Buffalo and where we think things are going to go into the evening with the snow ban, I want to turn to Commissioner Nate Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. You know, as the mayor said, we did get some snow over the entire city yesterday, but it really shifted to South Buffalo deep into the evening and this morning. So I just came back from South Buffalo a little bit ago, been around parts of the city and South Buffalo specifically a few times through the course of the evening. We know that area is getting hit the hardest, Kaisertown and South Buffalo. So as the mayor said, we have over 100 crews at one point in time throughout the city. We have adjusted and focused a lot of that effort in South Buffalo. We're still servicing other parts of the city. We're into the side streets and areas where they have stopped snowing, but we've moved resources, both city resources, our private contractors to South Buffalo. We know that's the area that needs the most. So we're focusing on mains and primaries. When it's that heavy band of snow, you have to keep that clear. As that moves away or kind of dials back, we know it's moving a little bit south and it'll come back north, but we're continuing to focus on mains and secondaries. Now we're into the neighborhoods. The private contractors are helping us in those residential streets. They're lifting and hauling away. So again, we're moving more resources. We're extending our shift with those contractors today, and we're going to bring more resources like that in tomorrow as well. So, you know, we're pushing hard. I know it is a lot of snow down there. Our team is doing a great work. So, you know, thank you to the Deputy Commissioner Jackson, but to all the men and women in the DPW team who are out there working. So they're doing a great job. We do see the snow moving north at some point in time later today. It'll come across the city. So, you know, the exact times, there's forecasters that have that, but, you know, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., overnight tonight, it's going to move north, and the city will get hit again, and we'll readjust our team to make sure we're responding to the entire snowfall across the city. So, again, right now, we're focused on South Buffalo. We know that's where it is, and we'll adjust as we go forward. So,
thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor.
So to reiterate, a driving ban in South Buffalo, areas south of the city. We do not want any driving in that area at all. That is unnecessary. Travel advisory still for the rest of the city. Please, if you don't have to go out, don't go out. It will help us with our snow plowing efforts throughout the city. We have been in constant communication with South District Councilmember Christopher Scanlon, particularly because South Buffalo has been the most heavily impacted area of the city of Buffalo, as well as being in constant communication with the Common Council leadership. I thank Councilmember Scanlon for getting messages out to his residents, for working very closely with us, and stressing to people living in South Buffalo how important it is to be patient and stay at home. I'm now going to turn things over to Councilmember Christopher Scanlon.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everybody. Much like the Commissioner, I just arrived from South Buffalo, and I can also attest to the fact that there was a significant snowfall in the southern portion of the city, several feet, in fact. Unfortunately, I can also attest to the fact that on my way in, I noticed numerous abandoned vehicles, people who were out driving and were stuck. I'm urging everyone, I'm pleading with anyone who's living in South Buffalo, unless it is an absolute emergency, please stay home. Please check on your neighbors, take care of them. In addition to keeping your cars off the road, making it easier for plows to clear a path, we want to ensure that all of our emergency responders can get down streets in case anyone's having a medical condition. So again, please make sure you're staying off the roads. Again, there were several feet of snow that fell. I want to thank the mayor, the commissioner, and his team for staying in constant contact, but also for getting the resources out to this area that was hit so hard. I want to thank them for their continued work. I want to also thank, as the mayor stated, the county executive, the governor for their collaboration on handling this storm. But again, if I could tell you one thing, anyone living in that portion of the city, please stay indoors. Do not go out unless it is an absolute emergency, and let the Department of Public Works, Emergency Services, or whomever else do what they have to do. So the storm, it's going to hover around for a little bit here. Hopefully we won't get hit too much further. But again, just shelter in place and we'll get through this together. Thank you, Mayor.
We have focused very closely also on making sure that our routes to all of our hospitals are open for any emergency situations, any surgical procedures. The routes to Mercy Hospital in South Buffalo, that was a priority for our public works crews, but we need people to stay at home in that area of the city. Please do not drive. People tempted it yesterday. There were a number of vehicles that got stuck. When the snow is falling between 3 to 4 to 5 inches an hour, you can't beat it. You are going to get stuck, so we need people to follow the guidelines. We'll now open up for any questions that you have.
Mayor, do you see, how will you navigate those bans, right, in terms of the travel ban for South Buffalo? Let's start with that. When will that expire? How will that decision be made? And is it possible that we see another travel ban here in the downtown area as this system moves up?
I'm going to have Commissioner Martin speak to that. He and his staff have been watching that very closely, working with the National Weather Service, the state of New York, the county of Erie. We're in constant communication on the movement of the bans. Commissioner?
Yes, certainly on the movement of the snow ban. I think you had a snow ban question and maybe a driving ban question too.
Driving ban in general.
Yeah, so so that's something from a public safety standpoint. The driving ban we thought was important to reinstate in South Buffalo. Coming back from my time there today, a number of cars, as was already referenced, off the road, abandoned. That's hampering our efforts, but it's really putting the residents in harm. So again, the urge to stay home. So we're going to navigate that. And evaluate it with the Weather Service, giving us some guidance on where those bans are. As those bans move north across the city, if it moves quickly, we'll evaluate the conditions and decide at that point in time. So it's going to be a reaction to the conditions at the time.
Commissioner Martin, this is your first major snow event in this position, so I wanted to ask you how is it going and what has it been like?
Well, it is my first event in this position, yes. It's actually been going quite well from an overall operational standpoint. We've got a great snow plan in place that addresses how we work with our city. That's been a plan that has been in place for a number of years. We've got a great team, years of experience, decades of experience with a lot of our leadership and a lot of those individuals in the plows across the city. So my first time, but it's the team that has a lot of experience, that has taken care of this city and taken care of the neighbors in our community. So we're just continuing to do that this year. I'm rolling right in with them and providing the leadership to that, but it's a team game, and they're really doing great.
Let me add, too, I think Commissioner Martin is being a little modest. He has filled in like a savvy veteran. We do have a very experienced team. The team is working tremendously well. The snow plan is going as expected. I also want to thank former Public Works commissioners who have called in with some recommendations and advice. It is going as well as can be expected, given the snow that we are seeing in South Buffalo. We are very focused on that area of the city, and we have had vehicles in every single area of the city of Buffalo, so the plan has worked very well.
How did the parking switch over go last night? Like, I live on one of the streets where you have to move Thursday and Monday. How did that go?
It's gone reasonably well. We have Parking Commissioner Ray Wagner here, and I'll let Commissioner Wagner speak to that.
Thanks, Mayor Brown. Yeah, so most of the areas are very clear. We have compliance in all the areas except for South Buffalo, where the snow, they got hit the most. So for the most part, the city is very clear and compliant with parking.
This question can be answered by anybody, but I think a lot of people right now might be watching and say, oh, the skies are blue, it's beautiful, we're never going to get hit with this. What's your message to people who might not be heeding the warnings and not be patient?
It can turn very quickly. This is a very unpredictable storm. We see how hard and how fast it's falling in South Buffalo, making driving conditions extremely hazardous. People trying to drive getting stuck. Once this storm shifts and moves to other areas of the city, we will potentially see the same thing in other parts of the city of Buffalo as well. As I said, Commissioner Martin and his staff doing a great job in tracking, communicating, following the trends, and moving equipment as necessary, and that will continue as we deal with the storm.
Anyone else?
Can someone talk about the GPS tracking, how that's gone so far?
Commissioner?
Yeah, the GPS tracking is operational. I know that we've had some issues with some of the equipment on the vehicle. So it is on all vehicles, it is operational, but some of the reaction back in the system standpoint isn't working. So that's one item that that isn't quite reflecting. We're going to take a look at that. I mean, we're looking at it now, but when this storm is over, we're going to get back and actually make sure we've got all those, all the pieces of equipment on all the vehicles working. Secondarily, the GPS will not reflect our contractors that are on campus. They don't have GPS, so the 60 contractor pieces of equipment that are out helping South Buffalo and other parts of the city, those aren't reflected in the GPS. So your city might, your street might be being serviced or helped or passed through with that equipment, and it just wouldn't reflect it. So a little, a couple points there.
But the use of private contractors is kind of an innovation with our snow plan. We wanted to get into the residentials more quickly. The private contractors are helping us do that. We've retained 60 private contractors, and they are working very well with city, county, and state crews out there. And we have about 55 vehicles, plows in South Buffalo right now. We also have a new fire vehicle, which has been very helpful in the storm. It's called an ARV. I want Commissioner Ronaldo from our fire department to talk about that.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. And just like many of our other city departments, we've shifted some of our resources to South Buffalo. Alternative response vehicles, or ARVs, were positioned on the west side and the east side, and we shifted them over to the south to deal with the increased number of calls. And they've had a positive impact, a positive influence on the calls that we're having over there. So I also want to take this opportunity to just reiterate what some of our other leaders have said about staying at home, taking care of your heating equipment, which is very important. We had an increased number of CO, or carbon monoxide calls, due to blocked vents, dryer vents, chimney flues, things of that nature. So just want to put that warning out there for our homeowners to keep an eye on that, because many of those vents are mounted on the outside of your home, maybe 2-3 feet up on your outside wall, and they may be snow covered by now. And what happens is your pilot light goes off, and then it starts generating carbon monoxide fumes. So I just want to get that warning out there. So thank you, everyone.
Commissioner, can you just talk about what ARV stands for and why they're so useful in weather conditions like this as compared to maybe a normal fire truck?
Yes, of course. So alternative response vehicles, which are basically a Chevy Tahoe, which are outfitted for emergency services platform. It's a more effective, efficient way we think of delivering emergency services to the community. And of course, they're not anywhere
conditions
near,
like this.
of course, yes, thank you, Mayor. Specifically in conditions like this, where you have narrow roads, cars parked on one or both sides of the streets, dead-end streets, things of that nature, and of course, snow-clogged streets. So they're more maneuverable, they're able to get to those tight spots where the ambulance may not be able to negotiate, then get probably right in front of a home instead of transporting a patient maybe a block or 2 blocks in the snow. So once again, they're having a positive impact in the environment we're working in right now.
And then finally, I just want to recognize that police response times are on track. Our police department also doing an excellent job in responding to calls and issues. No delay in police response time right now. Things are working relatively smoothly. Again, hardest hit area, South Buffalo. Travel ban in that area of the city of Buffalo, the southern portion of the city, and still asking people in other areas of the city, no unnecessary travel, please. If you do not have to go out, please stay at home. It will aid in our snow removal efforts.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown and his commissioners there giving an update on the city's response, which obviously is focused right now on South Buffalo, which has taken the brunt of this storm thus far in terms of the city. It's even worse when you go south of there into places like Hamburg and Orchard Park. But interesting to hear that the city right now has 55 plows devoted to South Buffalo, or has had that, the majority of its fleet, but also 60 private contractors. It's something new that the city is doing to try to be able to get into some of those side streets. They want to get a handle of that now because there is more snow coming this way. I was just talking with Patrick Hammer. Once we get into tonight, these bands are going to move back into the city, into South Buffalo, and then north of that into the city, places like the Elmwood Village, where people are saying we don't have a whole lot of snow yet. That will change later on as the bands move north. So that's the update from the city of Buffalo. Stay with us here on 2 on Your Side. We'll be bringing you a weather update. If you want to set your clock, 1:22, Patrick Hammer will be on the air here with another update. But of course, we have constant updates on WGRZ Plus, on our website, and on our app. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're going to return you now to regular programming.